I guess I'll just start at the beginning. You know, I think so many people hear about concussions, they think football, they think, I don't know, wrestling, WWE, and they don't often think about soccer, and they certainly don't think about it in the context of heading the ball, an actual play as opposed to a collision play. Where and when did this become something on your, in your life that you knew you had to pay attention to?
Not until after I was forced to stop playing the game, unfortunately. You know, I was taking headers from the time I was really small. They never gave me a problem as far as I knew. But, you know, I had a concussion in high school. And it wasn't even a soccer one. It was just bad luck. And then I got to college and I got 3 concussions in a row. Only one of which was from heading the ball. You know, I jumped up to head it, collided with another player, and my body turned and the full force of the ball went to the side of my head. So my vision started getting a little funky a little bit after. I didn't really know what was going on. I subbed myself out. But then the combination of coming back from those concussions and continuing to head the ball is when I really started to have a problem.
One of the things I think that's difficult with concussions is that because you cannot see a concussion, it is difficult for people not to believe you, but for a lot of people around games to understand what the impact is. When you were in college, was there any difficulty in terms of navigating when and how you were going to play once these diagnoses started happening? Or how did you do that just in terms of being able to have your own agency as a player on the roster?
Yeah. To me, it was, if you can sign me off, I'm going to play. You know, it was just, I just wanted back on the field regardless of the cost, unfortunately. And I had a lot of people looking out for me, trying to talk some sense into me, trying to get me to stop playing. But in the end, the doctors signed the form and let me back onto the field. And I wasn't going to slow down. You know, I was just going to continue to go after the ball for full force. If it was coming at me, I was going with it. With my head or with my body, it didn't matter to me.
Well, on a larger level now, what have you learned about how this works for, and how these kinds of things happen around the country with other girls and with other soccer teams in terms of safety and what they're doing?
It's so common, unfortunately. You know, now heading has slowed down, at least at the younger ages. They're not supposed to do it anymore. But the parents tell me that, they are either A, still doing it, and they're just not supposed to, or B, when they do start doing it, they're going straight into throwing fully pumped up soccer balls at kids that don't know how to head the ball. So why are we doing it with fully pumped up soccer balls? Why are we doing it 20 times in a row? What's the point? I understand people don't want to change the game. They don't want to get rid of headers. Fine. But I think there are smarter ways that we can do it. We can teach it with, dodgeballs or like inflated balls, like squishy balls, yeah. Right. We can wait until they're older to teach form, and then after form, put it into practice, and then after practice, put it in games.
I don't want to get too deep on you here, but have you lost any of your love for the game as a result of the way it's affected your body?
For a little while, I did. It was really hard for me to go back to the sport. It was hard for me to watch games. It's hard for me to coach kids that I really grow to love as, almost kids of my own, and then I go and I'm terrified to watch them play. But no, in the end, I love the game, and it's given so much to me as well. Yes, it has taken a lot away, but I think as long as we play the right way and we play the smart way, it can give more than it will take away.
What's next for you in this cause? What do you teach? How do you get out here? We're on TV now, but how do you get this message out to some of the youth efforts?
Well, I travel internationally with nonprofit Pink Concussions, and I talk to medical providers, parents, coaches, athletes, hopefully. I talk to athletes locally, but I share my story. I share what I've been through. I share my hopes for these kids. And I really hope they're paying attention to it's not just football players. Nothing is mild about it. A concussion is a brain injury. And when you look at it that way, hopefully people take it a little bit more seriously. But it's all about awareness. It's about awareness, and it's about a culture shift. We have to look out for ourselves. We have to look out for our kids. We have to look out for our teammates. Maybe you don't want to report it for yourself, but if you have a good teammate, a good friend, they'll report it for you.
Brittni Souder, thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.